Hi everyone, Adarsh here. So today we're gonna see how we can create a Spring AOP based application which is based on the annotation. So earlier POC we have done with the XML configurations, but in this code we're gonna do a configuration by using annotations. So let's jump into the code and see how it looks like. So first we have pom.xml. These are the regular group ID, artifact ID, version tags. Packaging is jar because this is a standalone application. Name for the war file as URL, organizational tag, licensing tag, developer tag. Then we have a repositories tag here, followed by a property tag where we have a project name, source code encoding, JDK version, Spring version, Aspect J version, and then JUnit framework version. So here is a Spring context dependency, JUnit dependency, Spring framework test dependency. Then we have all these Aspect J related dependency followed by the log4j dependency. And inside the build tag we have a jar file name, jar file configuration for name. This is a resources configuration. Then we have a plugin. So inside the plugin we have a standard Maven compiler plugin. Let's jump into the code first and see. So we have a employee bean. It's a regular bean class which is having employee ID, employee name, employee email, constructor, and followed by all getter, setter, and toString method. Then we have a service, employee service interface where we have all specification for CRUD operation, basically saving, updating, deleting, and selecting. So we have a implementation for that specification, and that implementation we have annotated with the service annotation. And ID is employee service, which implements employee service interface. So what we have done, we just created a static map data store here for employee map, and then in all the methods like save employee, we are just using that. We are just putting employee ID as a key and object as a value, and we are returning true and false based on the operation status. So list of the employees which accept this methods, where we are just iterating and then getting the ID and then saving into the local store of map. Then update, what we are doing, we are just replacing the value employee object based on the employee ID. And in the deletion, what we are doing, we are first checking whether data store is containing employee ID. If it contains, we are removing it and returning the operation status. Select employee based on the employee ID, so we are getting a employee ID from the local employee storage, basically a map based on the employee ID as a key. And here what we have done, we want a list of the employees, selecting list all the employee from the data store. So what we are doing, we are saying map.values, we'll get all the employee object, saving into the employee list and returning the employee list. So that's how the application looks like. So I'm having a configuration here where I have just said that employee context component scan base package com ESpark Adarsh, and this is a Aspect J auto proxy enabled. In the test class, what I have done, I'm just I have just specified the context configuration with this application context.xml, run with JUnit, Spring JUnit runner, and auto wired the employee service here. Then for the save employee method, we are saying employee service.save employee, and we are calling a constructor, creating an object at the run anonymous object and passing it, and we are asserting the response. So like update also, we are doing the same, update employee. Same employee also, we are doing the same thing. And then delete employee, we are first populating the value in the data store and then we are deleting it. We are populating the employee data store and then we are selecting it. And here what we are doing, we are just selecting a simple employee based on the ID. So we are populating first the data store and then we are selecting it from there. So if I just compile this mvn clean install, I'm gonna compile, and you can see here 6 test cases are executed and 0 failure. So in this application, what we have done, we have just created a aspect, employee service aspect basically. So this here we have configured it with the @aspect annotation and configuration basically. So in this we have declared a point cut. So point cut is a point in the execution flow, application execution flow, from where we'll join the aspects to the point cut. So and that aspect in turn join the advices to the point cut basically. So what we have done, we have defined a method employee service save employee point cut, and we have given a regular expressions, and we have defined a point cut by using annotation at the time of execution. So this is a method basically. If we get into this method, so this in the employee service we have this method here. So whenever this method method is binded with this point cut basically, and then this point cut, and we have advices like before advice, around advice, after advice, after returning advice, and through advice. So basically all these advice are binded to this point cut. So whenever this point cut executes, all these aspects, all these advice is gonna execute. So here you can see that for the after returning advice, this is the result which we are this is a response which we are getting from the method after execution. So we are tracing that. And for the throwing, if any exceptions occurred, this is the error object which we gonna get it. And then we have a around advice, where this piece of code gonna execute before the method, and after the method this gonna be executed, and we'll get the response of the method execution. So like that. So this gonna be a simple, and we have enabled that aspect J auto proxy here. So that's why this gonna be a AOP aspect, as well as all these advices gonna execute on the point cut basically. If we see the log here, employee service aspects, line number 66, it says before execution employee service save method. This is the input. Before execution save method employee, this is before executing employee service save method. After executing employee service save method. Before executing employee service save method. And exception generated during exception employee service save method, and true is a response. So that's how the AOP works. So I'm gonna save this piece of code to my GitHub repository, which is Adarsh Kumar Singh 83/spring_AOP. So you're gonna pull that code and you're gonna play around with that to understand this concept. So my previous application, which is AOP XML based configuration, is already there. So I'm gonna save this code to the same location. So till then, take care. Bye.